first thing we'll do is stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Amy, can we have a roll call, please?
Bierstead?
Here.
Bjork?
Here.
Carroll?
Here.
Downing?
Here.
Morissette?
Here.
Miller? Here. Odine?
Here. Next, our approval of minutes from the January 28th meeting.
I so move. Second.
First and second, questions or comments? Can we have a roll call, please?
Bjork?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Morissette?
Yes.
Downing?
Yes.
Bierstead?
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Odine?
Yes.
Okay, next we have the approval of bills with Councilmember Bierstead.
Mayor and council, I move to approve payment of bills in the amount of $1,763,068.58, subject to the comptroller's review.
Second. Okay, first and second on bills. Any questions or comments? Amy?
Odine?
Yes.
Bjork?
Yes.
Morissette?
Yes.
Bierstead?
Yes.
Downing?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Okay, next we move into public comments. This is where anybody in the audience has anything they'd like to talk about. Now would be the time to come on up. And as always, it's 2 minutes, and if you can leave your address and name and phone number, that would be great. Okay, nobody's got anything, so Diane wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, a moment of privilege, Mr. Mayor. I want to acknowledge that February is Black History Month, and I also want to acknowledge that one of the founders of River Falls was a Black man named Dick, who we know very little about. But he spent the first winter here with Joel Foster. That's the winter of 1848 to 1849. And I want to just read a little bit from the Pierce County Historical Society, and this is found in the reminiscences of Judge Joel Foster. Persuaded by his brother to return to his desired claim on the Kinnickinnic River, lest he lose it, Foster and a 20-year-old indentured African-American Dick caught the last steamer traveling up the St. Croix before the water froze for the winter. I've read elsewhere that Dick was indentured to the Foster family as an orphan. They built a rough cabin on Foster's claim near Junction Falls and set about preparing for 3 months of snow and cold. Every 10 days, one of the men had to walk 20 miles to Hudson. I'm not sure how their route, but 20 miles to Hudson, an old trading center in the Willow River where Foster stored supplies. The trip one way took about 14 hours in deep snow. In early spring 1849, the two men traveled to St. Louis and returned with 1 plow, 2 cows, 3 dogs, 4 horses, 12 chickens, and $7. They proceeded to clear 7 acres of woodland and plant oats and potatoes while living on venison, rabbit, fish, and bread. Despite hordes of biting black flies, they broke 20 acres of prairie and built a large cabin by the end of the summer. My understanding is they called it Fort Foster, and it's kind of where the armory is now. Dick, having completed his indenture, he became of age and was free from servitude, took out a separate claim and returned to St. Louis to find a wife. Time on the land alone was hard for Foster and harder when he learned that Dick's friends had convinced him to stay in the South. So anyway, I just wanted to remind everyone a little bit about Dick.
Okay, thanks, Diane. Okay, we'll move on to, we're going to close the council hearing and open a public hearing. It's on 3 different things, actually. The first is an ordinance 2025-02. This is the second reading regarding the rezoning of 807 West Locust Street from R2 multiple family residential to SC school zone. And along with that is a resolution authorized release of easement over a portion of a vacated right-of-way in the Andrews and Winchesters addition. And the next one is a resolution approving the vacation and discontinuance of unpaved alley right-of-way in the Andrews and Winchesters addition. Is there anybody in the audience that has anything like to say about this? Okay, I will close the public hearing and open up the council hearing. And we're going to take the ordinance and each resolution on themselves. So the first one, I'll take a motion on the ordinance of rezoning.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the, do I have this right? Rezoning of property northeast corner of Locust and Grove Streets.
Second.
First and second, questions or comments? Amy?
Carol,
Yes.
Downing,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Odine,
Yes.
Bierstead,
Yes.
Bjork,
Yes.
Morset.
Yes.
Okay, the first resolution is authorizing the release of an easement over a portion of a vacated right-of-way in the Andrews and Winchesters addition, and I'll take a motion on this.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, first and second on this, any questions? Amy?
Miller,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Morset,
Yes.
Odine,
Yes.
Bjork,
Yes.
Downing,
Yes.
Bierstead.
Yes.
Okay, and the second resolution is approving the vacation and discontinuance of unpaved alley right-of-way in the Andrews and Winchesters addition, and I'll take a motion on this.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval for the resolution approving the vacation and discontinuance of unpaved alley right-of-way in the Andrews and Winchesters addition.
Second.
First and second, questions? Amy?
Bierstead,
Yes.
Bjork,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Downing,
Yes.
Morset,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Odine.
Yes.
Okay, next move on to the consent agenda. The first thing is a resolution approving River Falls business leaders' request for street closures for 2025 events. Next is a resolution approving River Falls business leaders' request for open container exemption for 2025 events. Next one is a resolution approving River Falls business leaders' request for noise control exemption for 2025 events. Next one is a resolution approving River Falls business leaders' request for city assistance for 2025 events. The four resolutions were approved with the request of a downtown business leader for 3 events that include the St. Patrick's Day Potato Soup Crawl, Taste of River Falls, and Ladies Night Out. And then the last thing on the consent agenda is a resolution approving engineering design services for the West Locust Street extension. Does anybody want to pull anything?
I'd like to pull 7, please.
7, okay?
I'll move approval of consent agenda items 3 through 6.
Second.
Questions or comments on 3 through 6? Amy?
Downing,
Yes.
Morset,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Bierstead,
Yes.
Bjork,
Yes.
Odine,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Burek, you pulled number 7.
Yes, I just pulled number 7. I guess I just want to clarify some things. So this is resolution approving engineering design services for West Locust Street extension. So this isn't just the water main, but we're looking at the street extension. And I looked back and it said that this was with city approval or city want and need. And I guess I'm trying to figure out when that happened, that the city felt that that was a want and need to extend West Locust. Apollo goes out to Maple, which is a feeder road or a collector road, and I don't see the need for extending the street, but I do see the need to have the water main go through there, and especially when we're looking at down below at the compost pile to potentially do some other things with that. Why would we want to add a traffic or a street in front of this? So I'm just trying to figure out the logic behind this. So anybody on the council could even answer this maybe.
It says in the memo
Yep.
that the West Locust Street extension was designed as a future roadway via Ordinance 2018-15
Yes.
in the city's official map. Again, identified in the 2428 CIP capital improvement project list. There's, in my opinion, there's been a lot of additional housing built, and you know, I see this as kind of I personally see this as kind of a natural extension of you know, acknowledging that neighborhoods are growing.
Okay.
I would also add to what Councilmember Odine said, and this is a planning step for the future. And, you know, I don't know if you'd be willing to speak about that, City Administrator, Mr. Simpson?
Yeah, I can speak. There's a couple different things that drove the discussions probably early in the 2000s. I think we talked about it. Then there was an update of the official map as indicated in 18. But the reason that the current timing is planned is because um, the additional development within the wastewater treatment plant, which has been something we wanted to get better road access to the cold storage and wastewater treatment plant. And then also when we did the site planning for the pretty substantial subdivision back there, they looked at traffic. And this was a good way to provide that secondary access out. The other access out of that is through currently township, not unincorporated land. So I think the thought was we would try to take care of the traffic, but ultimately it is a policy decision of the council. I think, I won't speak for the city engineer. I'm not sure that there's that from an average daily traffic, let's see, I'm looking to see if Todd's here. From a projected average daily traffic, that there's like a severe need or bottleneck that's gonna be created on Apollo and Maple Maple from this. But I think because we wanna run the water, extension there because there's some need to get some, we think, to get some connection from that neighborhood, and we have the wastewater plant, that there was enough to tip it to the side of recommending it from staff's perspective. And not just recommending it, because we've had it recommended as future in the past. But the reason we're recommending it now is looks like they're going full speed ahead with the rest of the subdivision. We're gonna bring the biosolids facility online. We're increasingly using the space down there. And frankly, coming through Locust is more of an industrial area, currently zoned industrial through there. So it's truck traffic and other things that we would be using to access the wastewater treatment plant and the cold storage, I think are better served off of through Locust instead of kind of running down Winter to Maple and then back up Apollo, so it can avoid some truck traffic. But there again, there isn't any one thing that just kind of flips the switch to we need to do this. And staff's perspective, it's more of a combination of things.
Mhm. Well, I think with what you just shared there with the truck traffic going to the new bio plant, I think that makes the most sense. And I also realize that we're putting in the new main there anyway, so or you're gonna be digging and constructing anyway, so maybe it does make sense. I don't think if it was just for the neighborhood itself, it doesn't make sense, but, okay, thank you.
I appreciate you giving that, because, you know, in the packet, it talks about additional redundancy and distribution system. It didn't go into the details as well as you explained it. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, anything else?
No, so I'll move to approve, 7.
7?
Second.
Okay, first and second. No other questions or comments? Amy?
Miller,
Yes.
Bjork,
No,
Downing,
Yes.
Bierstead,
Yes.
Odine,
Yes.
Morset,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
Okay, next we move on to the comptroller's report.
Thank you. Comptroller's report for January 2025. General fund revenues through the end of January were $1,618,234, or 12.1% of total budgeted revenues for the year. Revenues in January included $1.5 million in general property taxes, $28,000 in building permits, and $5,600 in recreation fees. Expenditures through the end of January were $854,570, or 6.4% of total budgeted expenditures for the year. So as of January 31st, 2025, net revenues over expenditures were $763,665.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, next move on to administrator's report. Scott, if you got anything for us, or if anybody's got anything for Scott?
I've got 5 updates for the council and the community. A reminder that the 25 State of the City will take place March 4th at Tattersall Distilling. We're heading back to our future to learn how decisions made throughout our city's history have helped shape the course of the future of River Falls. Attendance is open and free to the public. If you'd like to join us for breakfast, you are asked to pay a fee and register in advance. You can register at the city's website, rfcity.org. The mayor's Cocoa Conversations will be held Thursday, February 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Hoffman Park. And we've been blessed with some cocoa weather lately, so can join the mayor and council members for conversation cocoa, and there likely to still be some snow for the kids, so all are welcome to attend. One update on 3 major construction projects. Progress on the fire station, library, and biosolids are all progressing. The fire station and the library are still in design. The fire station latest design will allow us to stay on track for early summer bidding. Progress on the library design is also progressing, and they are on track for a late spring bidding. Progress on the biosolids building is still progressing with most of the facility constructed. We're still waiting for some equipment. We're still on track for a fall for beginning operation. Be happy to take any questions you might have about other things.
Anybody got anything, Scott? Good. Okay. Thank you, Scott. I got a couple good news things for today, for February 10th. Coming up, I believe next week, we have 2 new officers will be joining this department. We got Hannah Olson and Connor Belfill. I hope I said that right, Connor, if you're listening. Both new officers will be sworn in next week. I'd like to welcome them to the City of River Falls and to River Falls Police Department. We're excited to have them on board. Next, I'd like to introduce Brooks Ostendorf, who started with the city yesterday as our new Conservation and Parks Manager. Brooks' arrival helps kick off the new Conservation and Parks Division within Community Development. We're glad to have Brooks on board and for the work this new division will do, lead some great initiatives. Do you want to stand up? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Brooke was here.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
He's too busy with all his new work.
Okay. Lastly, I'd like to give a special mention to former Falls. Lastly, I'd like to give a special mention to former Falls Mayor Jerry Wilkins. He received the emeritus board member status this week from the River Falls EDC. Jerry was a member of the River Falls EDC from 1994 for 2025, after serving as mayor from 1984 to 1990. Thank you, Jerry, for everything you've done for the city of River Falls. And that's all I got.
move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, we got a roll.
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't
That was
ready.
my
It
bad.
went too quickly. Bierstead,
Aye.
Bjork,
Aye.
Caro,
Aye.
Downing,
Aye.
Morset,
Yes.
Miller,
Aye.
Odine.
Yes.
We are adjourned. What?
I did.
Oh. I